What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Trust the Bank podcast, also on TTB Ravens Media on YouTube. So go hit the subscribe button down below for daily Ravens content. This is the post-draft analysis podcast. The podcast was posted on podcast platforms on Sunday night. However, the YouTube videos will be coming out Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. If there is other news, we'll have videos up on those as well. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If this is your first time seeing the Trust the Bank podcast, obviously, I host most of the normal videos, but Joshua over there, working on the direction. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to talk about grading the draft picks, how we thought about each pick. We'll get into biggest surprises that we felt during the draft, whether it's like certain picks or passing on certain players or even just going out and, not drafting certain positions, those types of things. And then we'll finish it off and we'll talk about our favorite pick and our least favorite pick from the Ravens draft. But getting into it, grading the draft, we're going to go through each player and we'll just say, what we grade drafting them really as. So starting off, Joshua, I'll let you go first. Rashod Bateman, 27 overall. What do you think that is?
Man, listen, 6'1", 193 pounder. He runs a 4.4. Great hands, great hands. He can run a great route, run great routes. He is that missing piece, honestly, in our offense. Someone that's going to help Marquise get that 1,200 yards while he gets himself a nice little 1,100 yards this upcoming season. I said it. Y'all can quote me on this, but we're gonna have 2,000 yard receivers on this team this upcoming season. So with that being said, I'm gonna give Mr. Bateman an A+. He definitely gonna bring he's a dynamic player. Just by the video conference with Lamar Jackson in Hollywood, y'all heard Lamar at these sort of highlights. Oh, that boy nice. You know how he said it in his Florida accent, man. So he ready to get that young jit here to Baltimore, man, get to work. So I love it, man. I love it.
Oh yeah, I mean, if y'all saw our live reactions, A+ from me. Rashod Bateman was the number one player on my draft board for the Ravens to get. The only wide receiver I would have taken ahead of him would be Jamar Chase. I would take Rashod Bateman for the Ravens over Jalen Waddle. I'd take him over Devontae Smith. So when we took him, we were both, we were jumping up and down. So very excited for Rashod Bateman. You said it great, Joshua. Very good routes, very good hands, and that's really what the Ravens are looking for. Also, make spectacular catches. If a ball doesn't happen to be, perfectly in the right spot, he can still go out and make a good catch. So Rashod Bateman, A+ all around. So that's averaging out. He's at, we're at like a 4.0 for Eric DeCosta so far. The next pick, 31st overall, Odafe Oweh, obviously edge rusher out of Penn State. Joshua, what do you think about this pick? Obviously, we had our initial reactions, but we've gotten time to settle down. What do you think about it?
Me honestly, I'm gonna say C+. The reason I'm gonna say C+ is for the simple fact that yes, we needed an edge rusher. Yes, he was a high targeted name in this year's draft. I just want to throw it out there that he only played football for 5 years. It's a difference, everyone, from playing O-line just the start of your college career versus playing, defensive end. Defensive end, in my opinion, and granted, I didn't play both sides of the ball. Defensive end requires a little more skill. You can have all the strength, you can have all the speed in the world, but if you do not have technique, you're pretty much just wasting space on the field. Not saying that Mr. Oweh is going to do that. He does have a lot of potential, but the thing is, are we going to be able to get that productivity that he expects out of himself and that we expect out of him off that first go around? Look at Tim Williams and Tyus Bauer. Tim Williams had a higher profile than Tyus Bauer. Tim Williams went null and void. Next thing you know, Tyus Bauer, he been doing his thing. Someone else that we drafted. I'll go with
Ferguson.
Another one. Led the country in sacks. Called him Sack Daddy, and we haven't got that push out of him yet. I'll even go further back to when Ozzie Newsome really used to get Alabama guys when he got Terrence Cody, and Terrence Cody did not live up to the hype. So, even though, yes, we did answer, the need for edge rusher, I'm giving him a C+ right now because, like he said, and like the organization said, he has untapped potential, and we need to see if we can get that potential out of him, ASAP. Because right now we are on a Super Bowl run.
Okay. Odafe Oweh, as of right now, May 2nd, I will give it a B+. However, if we sign Justin Houston, this is an A++++ pick because he won't be required to be the designated main pass rusher on the Ravens. However, if he is asked to be that guy, it's less of a benefit in my opinion because, like you brought up, Joshua, he's not somebody that has played the position very long. Obviously, no sacks last year. So that's something that's a bit of a concern in that sense, but I just love his versatility. Wink Martindale's going to go absolutely ballistic with him. He's going to be doing a lot of good things with them. But so if we're able to get a guy like Justin Houston who can, make an impact now, but still have a way playing meaningful snaps, and then he'll be able to make those big plays and really develop behind a legend of the game in Justin Houston, who's had a 20 sack season in the NFL, which very, 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 very few people have ever done. It's something like I believe like 5 people have ever done it. And the names on that list are, Lawrence Taylor's, Deacon Jones, J.J. Watts. Some pretty darn good football players have gone to the level that Justin Houston's gone to. So I like the pick. I do understand the concerns, but this is a potential pick in my opinion. And I like that, drafting for potential when we already got, since we had 2 first-round picks, getting one that's going to make a crazy impact right away and going one with a lot of potential. I see it. I like it. But getting into the next pick, Ben Baltimore, a.k.a. Ben Cleveland, at picks 94. What do you grade Ben Cleveland?
Oh man, I love my big uglies, man. This big ugly right here, he makes it look sexy. So I'm gonna give him an A+.
I wouldn't call him big ugly. I would call him big sexy. I'm not gonna lie.
he makes big ugly. He makes big ugly, big sexy. If y'all listen to Heavy D, the overweight lover is in the house, and that overweight lover right there, man, he knows how to protect his quarterback. Not only protect his quarterback, he knows how to attack. At the first point of attack, he's already knocking dudes off their feet, and I love it. And he knows how to stay on his feet. He has a great center of gravity. He moves forward, got good feet, and as a quarterback, I love having a bodyguard at 6'6", 6'6", 357 pounds, and it's lean.
Yeah,
4 years started UGA and allowed 0 sacks. I love it. It's a great pick. I can see him starting immediately at the left guard. Bradley Bozeman be at that center. Zettler be at the right guard, and of course we know right tackle is up for grabs right now. But hey, whoever they put there, I see it working out. So I like it.
Yeah, I'm also a big fan of I'm sorry, everybody. I really liked a lot of these picks in this draft. Big fan of it. I'm going to go on record and say this right now. He has the best tough guy story of any player to ever play for the Ravens. Y'all have heard the Marshall Yanda story. The taser in the locker room for $500. He took it like a champ. Said some of the easiest $500 he's ever made. If y'all have not watched Ben Cleveland's story on how he got the nickname Big Country, he was hungry. I believe he got home from school. He was probably about 14, 15 years old. He went outside, found some squirrels, killed the squirrels, cooked them up, ate them squirrels real good. So that is the story of Ben Cleveland.
Gotta love it, man.
As a teenager going out, finding his own food, cooking it himself, getting them squirrels. And they whoever's interviewing asked him, and it was like, how do you know when they're done? He was like, you just put them on there. You think they're done, you taste it, go from there. So I love Ben Cleveland. I think he's really funny. He's got a great beard. Obviously, he's got a great body. If y'all haven't seen the pictures of him, he's massive. So I'm gonna give him. I don't know. I'd probably give him an A. Man, I really love this draft. I'm sorry, everybody.
Yeah.
I'm trying not be a homer, but like it's a great pick. He allowed 1 sack in college, and he tosses men around in the SEC. He's not playing with he's not playing North Dakota State football. He's playing Georgia football in the SEC, going against Alabama and LSU, and all those big boys. So big fan of this pick. The next one is probably the first like what in tarnation pick the Ravens had, the one that sent everybody through a whirlwind. Pick 104, Brandon Stevens, defensive back, SMU, probably a free safety cornerback hybrid. But when we drafted him, we knew nothing about him. It was like, who the heck is this guy? Where are his highlights? Heck, where are even the scouting reports? But I will say, before we talk about it, I've seen a lot of scouts say like this is a very, very good pick for the Ravens. Not saying like things like overdraft and things like that. But Joshua, what do you think about Brandon Stevens, defensive back, James Prochet's guy out of SMU?
I'm gonna give it a B. I'm gonna give it a B minus for the simple fact that coming into his college career, he started off as a running back. I don't know exactly what happened, but when he made the transition, when he transferred over to SMU from UCLA, they decided to put him on the defensive side of the ball. For some of the little bit of highlights that I did see, he did play man coverage. He also stuck with the wide receivers. He did not. He has a good eye for the ball. He in his whole cornerback career, college
22
pass
breakups. Yep,
and 1 interception. And that, for me, that sounds pretty good. And for the simple fact that he went to a Power 5 school, transition, and made the adjustment to the defensive side of the ball, and still was able to be productive enough to get drafted in the 3rd round, that shows me not only that this young man has grit, but also that this young man is an athlete, and that this young man could be put on the field immediately and can contribute early. So I'm definitely looking forward to see how he blossoms and contributes to the Super Bowl push for years to come.
Yeah. Initially, when I did my video recapping the day 2 picks, I talked about him and I said that, he took a chance on himself and he took that risk because he wanted to switch to defensive back. He said he had played it a little bit in high school and he really enjoyed it. But obviously, he was a very good running back, a like 4 or 5 star recruit at UCLA. He entered the transfer portal, went in, and is very new to the position. He played very well. And he's an absolute athlete. And something that I really love about him, I think he's a Raven just in his mentality and his standpoint. His Twitter bio, I believe, says bet on yourself. He's a guy that believes in himself. He has confidence and he knows what he's worth. So he's going to come in. He's going to work as hard as possible because he knows that when you're 2 years into your college career and you want to switch to the defensive side of the ball, really reduces your chances. But he was like, in my case, it's going to improve my chances. So he put in all of that work. He's obviously coming from the offensive side of the ball. He's got ball skills and that type of thing. So I really like this pick. I honestly, I'm going to give it a B+ pick just for the potential. The only downside is like I really don't think he's like super NFL ready in terms of like we can't put him out like every single snap as a rookie. And as a day 2 type of player, I really like to see that. It's not a necessary thing, but I do like to see that in like a day 2 pick. But I think it was still pretty solid. Round 4, the pick that broke my heart. Tylan Wallace. I'm a big fan of it, but like if y'all saw my instant reaction video, it was the realization that the dream, the movement that I had started so long ago of Simi Fehoko to Baltimore was over. But getting rid of the Simi Fehoko thoughts, what do you think about Tylan Wallace at Oklahoma State, Joshua?
Man, Simi, we still love you, man. Best of luck to you in the NFL. Mr. Wallace. If we let go, if you know what, I'm gonna say this. If we release our flex tight end, I'm gonna give it a B+. For the simple fact that I feel like Mr. Wallace can get on the field. I feel like he can produce early. I mean, just imagine it. Let's think about it. I could be wrong, but let's think about it. Rashod Bateman at R1. They finally give James Prochet the time he deserves. He could be at the 2. Then you have rotation. You rotate Hollywood and Tylan Wallace in that slot. And Mr. Wallace, being 5'11", notching over 1,100 yards, 26 touchdowns at his Oklahoma State career, he reminds me so much of my guy that was a Raven, and that's Steve Smith Sr. He's a short guy, but he plays big. He catches the ball with his hands. He has good speed, and he has good route running skills. And he plays with a chip on his shoulder. Anytime you get one of those chip on your shoulder guys that plays for the Ravens, man, come on, y'all know, y'all seen it, y'all seen what happened. I mean, remember the days when we had Will Hill. Granted, he couldn't get it together on the during the off the field, but when it was time for him to get on the field, man, he was a hitter. But Noah Pilot, yeah, him and John Harbaugh had beef, but damn it, I remember when he made Shane Vereen did a split on the field. Anquan Bolden, Derek Masons, guys like that. So you find a young guy in the draft that can be, on the team for maybe 3-4 years, man, and that could be a weapon to Lamar Jackson. I love it. So I'm gonna give it a B. I'm gonna give it a strong, solid B.
All right, I actually love this pick. I think right now, I'm gonna say I think he may be better than Devin Duvernay right now. Which I think he could be the wide receiver for the Baltimore Ravens. The issue is I think Devin Duvernay is the slot wide receiver, so I think he'll still get snaps. But people have tried to say I still like Prochet better. Prochet has great hands. This guy, number 2 drop percentage in the FBS last year at 1.1%. He led the FBS since 2018 in contested catches with I think it's 42 or 48 contested catches. Mel Kiper said he's only 5'11", but he plays like he's 6'3". That's what we like to see in a wide receiver. I believe he has a twin brother who could not play football anymore after he had significant injury history and he had to quit football. That type of thing, that type of mentality. I mean, he's not doing this just for himself. He's doing this for his brother as well. I believe this is the case. I'm 85, 90% sure. If I'm wrong, I'm very sorry, but I believe that's the case. But this is a guy that's going to come in and he's going to be able to play very well. He plays like a Raven, very physical. I'm going to give this an A+. I think this is an absolutely incredible selection. I thought he was a day 2 wide receiver from what I had seen. In a previous injury, which was the torn ACL in 2019, is the reason he fell to day 3. So I absolutely love this pick. I think he's one of the most talented wide receivers on the Ravens if he can stay on the field. So I'm a huge fan of Tylan Wallace. I think he's going to be a beast. My just instant reaction when I saw it was not about Tylan Wallace. It was about the loss of Simi Fehoko, which was sad. But next pick 160, Shaun Wade, cornerback out of Ohio State. I'm sorry, the Ohio State University. What do you think about Shaun Wade?
Honestly, man, damn. Shaun Wade. What can I get him? I think I'm gonna give him an A. I'm gonna give him an A for the simple fact that he's another dark horse in the steal, a dark horse steal in the draft for us. Just like how we got the steal in J.K. Dobbins last year, coming from the Ohio State University. We done got another Ohio guy to add on to the star-studded defense. We have been, looking for a nickel cornerback that can step in. Knowing that Tavon Young has not been able to stay healthy. Granted, Shaun Wade does have his health problems too. He's dealt with family issues, and everything like that. I mean, hell, they even put him on the outside, and he got exposed. But as a nickel cornerback, that's his best play, and I feel like he definitely can contribute, especially with all the high power officers that we're going to be facing in this upcoming season, and also with Jamar Chase and everybody else in the AFC North as well, man. So I'm not going to say he's going to be a immediate starter, but I definitely feel like you're going to see him in a lot of different packages, giving these guys a break. Not only giving these guys a break, I see him maybe possibly coming out with maybe 2 to 3 interceptions this season out of that slot.
Yeah, I love this pick. This is an absolutely amazing pick. I talked about Brandon Stevens really lowering his grade because I don't think he'd be able to really start right away. Shaun Wade is a guy who could start right away. He was seen as a top 10 NFL draft pick after he played nickel corner at Ohio State. I'm sorry, the Ohio State University. I got to do it. I got family from Ohio. But basically, he's going to be able to come in. He will play the nickel spot. He was horrible on the outside when he did it in college. I'm not trying to say the Ohio State every single time. I'll just say in college. But he was somebody who dominated in the slot, and that's what he's going to do in the NFL. I think he's absolutely ready to start from day one. He could also play a bit of free safety, which, Joshua, you and I really called it perfectly. The Ravens should add just secondary pieces. Don't focus on corner. Don't focus on safety. Get guys that can honestly play both to allow them to shift all the way around and cover different guys. That's what we've gotten. And I like them doubling down because we got the guy with a lot of potential in Brandon Stevens. And Shaun Wade, not to say he doesn't have potential, but I think he's already more ready. He may be the most talented cornerback in the draft. From what we've seen, he was seen as a top 10 pick. He could have been up there with guys like Patrick Surtain and J.C. Horn. He's just not an outside corner. So I really love this pick. This is an A+ for me. I love them going with him. So I really love the pick. I think it's gonna be really interesting to watch him play alongside, Penn State alum Odafe Oweh. But let's get into round 5. Pick number 2, Daelin Hayes out of Notre Dame. It says edge. He's going to be a linebacker for us, drop linebacker. So what do you think about him for the Ravens?
I wish it was Charles Snowden, but hey, it's okay. Mr. Daelin Hayes, I'll give him a B+. The reason I'll give him a B+ for the simple fact that he's a 2 technique outside linebacker. Yes, they list him as an edge rusher. I did look at some of the highlights. I did see him how he can how he is taking on left tackles with just one hand and push the line. I seen the containment. Also, he fits the mold of our defense. He was a captain at Notre Dame, so that tells you right there he has IQ. Not only does this young man has IQ, he also has drop back ability. So with that drop back ability, I have seen him actually get the interceptions. So he may not can run it all the way back for a touchdown, but at least he can get it and help and become a playmaker. And who's our favorite edge rusher, McConnell, that we love, that we gave the 4-year extension to? Tyus Bowers.
Oh yeah.
Two technique out of University of Houston, 6'4", about the same frame. He knows how to drop back. He knows how to get to the quarterback, set the edge, get the tackles. And people, just because I gave Daelin Hayes a B+, don't take it that I'm just taking a shot at Mr. Oweh. It's not a shot. I just feel like he's a little Daelin is a little more polished. That's all it is.
I think that's a bit fair. I believe he was actually a 2-time captain at Notre Dame. I may be wrong on that, but something that is very, very rare. He was he was nominated, I think, for college football man of the year. This is a standout character. My favorite part about this? Baltimore Raven fan. He grew up a Ravens fan. If y'all watch his interviews that he's talked about the Ravens, and what's funny, my favorite part was he was like, yeah, they really didn't reach out to me till a week ago. And I was like, man, y'all my favorite team. You're going to do me like this? Come on, let me talk to you guys. You guys are my favorite team. And then they drafted him. And I really like Charles Snowden. Y'all didn't know Charles Snowden went undrafted, signed with Chicago. But like Daelin Hayes, I think offers something a little bit different. He's more polished. He's significantly more polished than a guy like Charles Snowden. Doesn't have the like crazy athletic traits that Snowden has, but he can definitely still get the job done. I love his coverage skills. I think he's really going to help out in that aspect. So I'm going to give this a B plus. I think it's a very solid, high character type of guy. And you know, he went to Notre Dame. He's a leader. I think there's a chance that maybe he eventually is the guy that gets the mic. You know, we've been talking about the guys. You know, we got Chuck Clark. We can't really get a new safety until somebody gets the mic from Chuck Clark. I mean, I don't think he'll start right away, but Daelin Hayes could be a guy eventually that could come in and be the guy with that microphone on and, you know, kind of patrolling the middle of the field at the linebacker.
Could be our next Jahi Ward.
Oh, yeah. There we go. So I really like that pick. You know, high character Ravens fan. Love to hear that story. Final pick of the 5th round of the Ravens first round. Sorry for the very long segment, guys, but, you know, there were a lot of picks that we had to go over. Ben Mason, I call him I can't even remember what I decided to call him. The blocking specialist, or it was something like that. The specialized blocker. Pick 184 out of Michigan. What are your thoughts on it?
I'll give it a C minus. We already got Patrick Ricard. Unless they want to go big backfield with, you know, Mike Armstead and Peyton Hillis. I mean, that would have been a lovely sight to see with any team that made that happen. But you know, they do have him listed as fullback and tight end. If we have enough tight ends between the weapon Oliver, you know, Mark Andrews, Breeland, Eli Wolf, you know, guys like them. If we bring just Mr. Mason in just for some depth behind Patrick Ricard, just in case, you know, anything happens for in the near future, then by all means, you know, nothing wrong with having depth. So I mean, I feel like it maybe could be more of an insurance pick than, you know, putting him out there immediately, and maybe he can contribute on special teams as well too. So I give it a C minus.
Yeah, this is definitely the most head scratching pick. You know, coming from you know, Michigan's, you know, John Harbaugh got Jim's guy. But like, I like it in the sense that I see the vision that the Ravens are going for. You know, if we had 2 fullbacks that are nasty blockers, sorry, there's a bug in my face, that are nasty blockers that can go out there and really level people to allow J.K. Dobbins to hit those holes, to allow Lamar Jackson to hit those holes. I see it. I think he's also played some snaps on the defensive line. He's a good special teamer. He's pretty athletic. He's very good catching the football, actually. I think he's better than Patrick Ricard in that aspect. So I like the pick. Not my, you know, favorite pick by any means. I'll give it a B. I see the vision of the Ravens going after it, but like nothing where it's like, it was just a very intriguing pick. But that's it for the draft grades. We'll get into other videos. So, you know, subscribe to Daily Ravens content your grades for the Ravens draft picks. But